Chaos Demons have always been a great choice for an army because of their cross-play capability between Age of Sigmar and 40k, even back to Warhammer Fantasy. But now, with the addition of their viability in the old world, we have an unprecedented situation where we combine to one Warhammer army and use the exact same models in 3 different game systems. And that, my friends, is what I call good value, and that's why I went and ordered this box set this week. Let's break down my intentions for my newest army, and who knows, maybe yours. So straight up, there is nothing with any of the models that we need to change. There's no guns to take off or space armor that won't suit one universe, so base sizes is really our only factor, and actually between Age of Sigmar and 40k, it's all good with simply plug and play here. And I'm just going to run with Khorne Demons here as my examples, but you can extend this to the other Chaos Demon factions as well. With the old world, of course, we have the square base conundrum. A 32mm round base on Bloodletters is a 30mm square base in the old world. Why oh why Games Workshop decided to troll us here we'll never know, but to be honest, given they're a legacy faction and you're likely going to play legacy old world versus other legacy old world armies, having this small discrepancy in the base size is likely not an issue. Now I have seen people online, like Reddit user Naked Twig Sorcerer, okay, I didn't think I'd be saying that going into this video, but here we are, who has produced converters to solve into this. So that is one option, and I'll place the link in the description. He uses an overlapping process to align them all in, and it's not as clean as a regular movement tray, so just consider that. Another option would be to actually base the army on squares to begin with, and then use converters to take your smaller square bases and place it up onto bigger round bases. In my opinion though, don't stress on all of that, simply get movement trays suitable for 32mm rounds and roll with the slight discrepancy. And for characters in the old world, I don't really know how much base sizes can matter. When they provide for a Bloodthirster, for example, it can be from 50x50 right up to 100x150. So yeah, don't worry about that. Let's take a look at the cost value and how many points we get in each game from that starter box and what our next moves may be. Another benefit is actually that this is also a quite small model count army overall. Cost-wise, given you're buying models that you can then use between 3 game systems, there's no better value in my opinion. I have on screen here the same list for all 3 game options. So with 40k, it does only make 575 points, and so you will need to source some extra models because the Flesh Hounds are much lower costed here than in the other games. In fact, look at the cost of 175 points for 5 in the old world versus just 70 points in 40k. That's crazy. This box set makes us 891 points in the old world, which is really, really good, especially considering we grab our rule set for free to boot. Then in Age of Sigmar, it's also great, coming in at 850 points. So next steps from here, I probably intend to buy a Bloodthirster, which in any of these games is over 300 points, depending on the configuration that you're going to use, which completely pushes us into our capability to start playing sort of 1k plus point games. There are then a bunch of models you can keep fleshing out, which will work in all of the game systems, like a Lord on a Blood Crusher, a Skull Cannon, and in fact I really like the idea of buying 6 Chaos Furies from the Warcry game. In Old World, you're actually left with 4 additional Bloodletters due to the unit size they run with. You can then disperse these 6 Furies out and make 3 units of Bloodletters, having some visual model diversity with the Furies plugging in those gaps. Then in something like Age of Sigmar or 40k, you can add in the Furies in the same way to promote a regular Bloodletter to some sort of character or lord to bolster out your points. But going back to that box set, because it's been out for some time, I got mine for 180 Australian dollars on Amazon when this thing retails for 243 here. So an amazing saving, and lots of them around for similar prices across the geographies. Overall, I'm unsure why Games Workshop don't promote an army like this more. The use case of being viable across all of their game systems seems like a huge selling point. I strongly believe also that we will see Khorne Demons get some sort of updated models in the next year or two, with the Bloodletters really starting to show their age and not having the deepest unit pool overall. Certainly in the future, Old World is going to push into the Chaos sort of lore, and I feel like we just have to see them. It's just some time well spent from a development perspective, because you're making new models for 3 games versus 1. Right? In my opinion, they should be doing this right across the range with things like Skaven and Beastmen down the line to ensure compatible base sizes between the games, so that people can just use adapters for Old World and we don't have these tricky situations. They do think and care about cross compatibility at times, like if we look at the Zangor kit, for example, it comes with guns or swords. They want you to play between 40k and Age of Sigmar, so let's hope they keep planning this in the future, because I love the crossover capability between games. Investing in this army, we also position ourselves really well if we want to start getting into Khorne Mortals or Warriors of Chaos in any of the games, because we have this full foundation now, so you're not just getting 3 games with one army, you're actually positioning yourself to have multiple rule sets to play with, because you can now just start picking things that you like from the Khorne range in general. Something that really draws me to this army is the special units. Blood Crushers, these bear, dog, rhino hybrids.
I'm talking, of course, about Man-Bear-Pig.
Are some of the most imposing models in Warhammer to me, and huge centerpiece units like Bloodthirsters are just undeniable in the rule of cool, all while supported by some really solid core. These Fleshhounds are great sculpts, and even your older Bloodletter troops are still these two-handed, elite-looking infantry. You just don't do small or weak with this army, and nothing is over-designed also. It's quite simple, so from a painting point of view, it's not so daunting as other armies can be. Now, another thing is that there's a lot of potential from a painting and hobby perspective. Don't be fooled into thinking that blood red is your only option. I'm picking out some alternate schemes on screen here as examples of directions that you could take this, and really your options are actually quite open to you, because these are demons that don't conform to any logic. I believe I'm going to go down a winter theme with this army to combat my winter themed Wood Elves and Sylvaneth. And I hope this has put some thoughts into your head. If you had not considered the potential of Chaos Demons from a practicality and cost entry point to Warhammer, stick around with me with a subscribe if you're interested to chat more. And for now, have a good one, and I will see you real soon.